everybody, welcome to Bones Collector. I hope you had a happy Thanksgiving, because I certainly did, celebrating with my family and my friends. I hope you spent time with your family and friends and got some board gaming in. We got some gaming in at our gathering, things like Jenga and Giant Uno, and what else did we play? Jenga, Giant Uno, and I don't know, just games like that, of that ilk, but everybody loves to play those. And the reason why I love Thanksgiving time of year is because my birthday falls around that time, late November. But this year it was even more special because it fell on Thanksgiving Day. And next day is Black Friday, and if you're hunting for board games, that's one of the best days of the year to find good deals. So for my birthday, I got quite a haul of board games, and I'm going to tell you about them. It was my 64th birthday. I didn't get 64 games, but I got a bunch of good ones, and I'm going to show them to you right now. So here they come right at you. And so without any further ado, I'm going to begin to show you these games. The first one I'm going to show you that I received is Beastie Borders. And Beastie Borders is a game that has a modular board and a bunch of these little glass woodland creatures and farm animals. And in this game, you simply have this modular board. I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of these cards, and you're going to lay them out to form the board. On each card, there's 6 spaces, and you're going to move a marker around those spaces, and you move it the number of spaces that you roll on this 8-sided die. And you're simply going to just roll the die. If it says 6, you're going to move 6 spaces, and you can choose to put one of your animals on there. So you're going to have some animals, and your opponent's going to have some animals. It's only a 2-player game, and you begin to place those on the board so that it affects how you move after a while, because you can't count that space that has an animal on it when you're moving the marker, this white marker. And then if you don't have to place an animal on that space, and if you don't, you can pass, and your opponent can put an animal in this space, or your opponent can pass also, and you put one of these black discs down when both of you pass. And that begins to fill these squares up. So at one point towards the end of the game, you may roll a 3, and to find 3 open spaces takes a while. You may even go all the way around the board until you find that last, that number 3 space. So that's pretty cool. And it's an area control game. You're going to try to place those animals, your animals, in adjacent squares to each other, and that's how you score points in this game. And it's a lot of fun. We had a great time playing it. I really like this game. It's small. The box, again, the box is very little. The game itself is very small, and I can take it with me when I travel. It's called Beastie Borders, and I really had a good time playing it. And yeah, I like that game. Happy birthday to me for that one, yeah. So, Beastie Borders. Okay, the next game that I received was a game by my favorite board game designer of all time, Stefan Feld. And it's called Revolution of 1828. It has a political theme, so that in itself is going to turn a lot of people off, I'm sure. I'm not a fan of politically themed games myself, but I am a fan of Stefan Feld, so I wanted to make sure that, I played this game. It's, again, a 2-player only game. Is that his only 2-player only game that he's made? I don't know. He's not made very many. I think this is the only one that I can think of right now off the top of my head. But it takes about 45 minutes to play, which is right in the time frame that Lori and I like to play. And it has a small board and a bunch of tokens. The tokens have various powers on them. And you're going to be taking delegates off the board, and you have, I think, 6 different regions. You're going to place those delegates in those regions, and you have, I don't know, what are those?
Electors.
The electors, which are little meeples, and once you have take the last token off that region, you are going to take that elector and put it towards your side of the board. Kind of like Hanamagoji a little bit. It works actually a little bit like that. So we really enjoyed playing this game. I enjoyed it more than Lori because it can be a little bit cutthroat. Not a lot. I think it's kind of a fun cutthroat thing, because there's like one of the tokens is called news, and when you take that, you can give one of the bad tokens that you have to your opponent, and so that's kind of fun. You have to watch for those, and you have to strategically ask yourself, do I want to take that now or take the chance that it'll be there for my next turn, and so it has some tough decisions to make as you're selecting those tokens off the board, and that's always a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed the game, as I do Hanami-Koji. I mean, it kind of reminds me of that game, but it's called The Revolution of 1828 by the best board game designer in the world, Stefan Feld. I think you might want to get this one. Happy birthday to me again. Yeah, put those up there. All right, the next game that I got was Ticket to Ride London. Now, Lori and I had the Ticket to Ride game years ago, and we just, gosh, and it's Ticket to Ride is a well-loved game. I think I think they've sold 8 million copies, something ridiculous. I mean, it's such a popular game, but for whatever reason, it just didn't click with us, and so we got rid of that long ago. But this is a version of Ticket to Ride. It takes place in London, and it's a very fast. Is this 2-player only? No, it's 2 to 4, 8 plus. Okay, so it's 2 to 4 player game, and it takes 10 to 15 minutes. That's what I love about it. You can play this game 3 times in a half an hour. I mean, it's really that fast. And it's a map of London, simply a map of London, and you have tickets that you want to try to fulfill, which are destinations that you need to go from another city, just like Ticket to Ride, and you get points for how many of these double-decker buses, which you see in Piccadilly Circus in London, and you place those double-decker buses on the routes themselves and score so many points for how many you placed. And so it's a lot of fun, it's very quick, and all my games that I received for my birthday, this was, I don't know. I hate to say it's my least favorite, but it's one that I haven't won yet. I'm 0 for 3. We played it 3 times, and Lori beat me all 3 times. But you know, that's no reason to make me not like the game. You know, he said, lying with a brave face. But I don't know. I haven't won it, and but it's fun. It's a fun game, and it's very fast, and the box is small, and that stands for quite a bit with me. So yeah, Ticket to Ride London. Happy birthday to me. All right, next game that I got for my birthday is Crusaders by Tasty Minstrel Games, designed by Seth Jaffe. Now, geez, I have a lot of Tasty Minstrel games that we really, really enjoy. Just off the top of my head, Citrus, Old West Empresario. I'm looking at my game shelf over here. Pioneer Days, behind me, Luna by Stefan Feld. What we got? Rialto. I mean. Oracle Delphi. So Tasty Minstrel does a tremendous job. Let's see, Yokohama and Gentes Deluxified, one of my favorite games of all time, actually. But I wanted to try this game, and I actually at Dice Tower Con we set the game up and realized we had an appointment to go to, so we had to leave the game and never did get it played at Dice Tower Con. So we didn't have a chance to play it. But it has something in it that is amazing in board games, and that's a Mancala. And I have 2 other games that use a Mancala in them, Gold West by J. Alex Cavern, and Trajan by Stefan Feld. And this game utilizes a Mancala. It's very similar to both those games, where you're going to be dropping off pieces to make your action selections. And that's the meat of this game, and it's so much fun. And I love Mancalas, but I've never won Gold West, Trajan, or Crusaders against my wife. She's very good at working that Mancala, but I've loved all 3 of those games, and I love to play them, and this is no different. I've really, really enjoyed it. We had a great time with it. We played it a couple times, and I really, really like it. The production is outstanding in this game. They make a deluxified version, but you don't need it. This game was spectacular, and it was on a Black Friday sale, and man, I'm glad we got it, and I can't wait to get it back to the table, and that's Crusaders by Seth Jaffe. And Tasty Minstrel Games. Okay, and next game I got for my birthday was Bloomtown. And let's see. The designer of Bloomtown is Asger Harding Granerud and Daniel, I don't know how to say, Peterson. But anyways, this is a city building game, tile placement style. And you have a player board, where you're going to be covering things up that are going to help you make selections of your next tiles, and the tiles where you place them on the board matter next to each other and how you score them. So sometimes you'll score, I think subways score diagonally and office buildings score up and down, and houses score according to how many different buildings you have adjacent to them. So you know, all those little things that you see in other tile placement games are here in Bloomtown. The scoring is a little crazy. It's hard to get used to that, and you're going to have the rule booklet out that gives you the scoring summary because you're going to have to refer to it all the time until you get used to it. And some of the color the tiles themselves, where I think it's the businesses that have two different colors on them that score. If you lay tiles that are that color next to them, that's how you score. But sometimes it's hard to tell those colors. Like I think one's a dragon and something else, but the dragon is actually wrapped around the other item, so you really have to stare at it in order to. So I mean, but that's small potatoes, and it's a 2 to 4 player game. Takes about a half an hour, which I love. And it was on some Black Friday deal. We got it very cheap, and I'm glad we have this game because Lori and I love tile placement games, city building games like this. And there's some good ones out there, and this is one of them, Bloomtown. I think it's kind of new this year, 2019. So yeah, happy birthday to me, Bloomtown. All right, next game that I want to talk about that I got my birthday is Gugong. And Gugong is from Tasty Minstrel Games also. It seems like Tasty Minstrel Games is just putting out some amazing games. They don't mess around. I don't think they make too many mistakes in their production of their board games. And let's see, this designer is Andreas Stedding. Oh gosh, he did something else that I can't think of what it is. Can't remember. But the artwork is by Andreas Resch. So this game is a beautiful game of it's a Euro style worker placement. Yeah, I'm looking at the box. So it's got rather large board, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different action fields that you are going to deal with. Each one of them has a card on them called gift cards, and you have a hand of 4 cards that you're going to begin the game with, and you're going to exchange those cards with cards that are on the board in those 7 different action fields. There's 1 card in every action field, so there's 7 cards on the board. And you're going to simply exchange those, and there's some rules and mechanic that makes it important for you to think about which cards you want to exchange for. So that's what makes this game absolutely wonderful and fun to play. Gugong, it was on Kickstarter maybe a year and a half ago. I almost backed it, but I didn't. And whatever. But it plays solo also. 1 to 5 players. It says 90 minutes on the box. I think Lori and I did an hour and 10 minutes our first play, and I think we could probably get this done and back in the box in an hour, which is pretty much the time frame that we like to play. And there's a lot to think about. This game is a little bit complex. I'd say medium heavy. So this is a pretty meaty game, and lots of fun to play. Check it out if you get the opportunity. Gugong. Yay! Happy birthday to me. All right, I'm doing good, aren't I? I know what you're thinking. Boy, that's a pretty nice birthday. And it was. And here's the last game I got for my birthday, Champions of Midgard. And I think it was a Black Friday deal too, yeah. And I had never played this game. So I watched it played a few times, and I didn't know if I would like it or not. So I took a chance because it was so cheap on Amazon. I picked it up, and we got it to the table today, as a matter of fact, and played it. And I'm not gonna lie, had a great time. It was a lot of fun. And I really, really enjoyed it. It's definitely a keeper for us. It has a rather large board, which, if the game is amazing, I'm just going to suck it up and say, well, I'm going to keep it. And this game was a lot of fun for us. It is I'm trying to think if for a complexity level. I think Rado said that this game was a total gateway game, and I gotta disagree with that a little bit. Of course, he's a board game designer, and I'm just a working guy, so he knows a lot more about it than I do. But I think there's enough meat in this game that I wouldn't try to explain it to a new gamer. And when I think of gateway or family style games, I think of games like Honga or Trekking the National Parks, Tiny Towns. Reef, something you can explain in 5 minutes to someone that does not play board games and have them pick it up very quickly and play it. This has a little bit more to it than that, and I think you could learn it maybe after 1 or 2 plays very well. You know, if you're a new gamer and you pick this game up, you know, after you play it for a while, I think you get a feel for it. But it's definitely, I don't think it's a gateway game. It's a gateway plus. I mean, it's a medium weight game, and just a lot of fun with a Viking theme. The artwork is incredible in this game. I think that's part of what made it wonderful. What don't I like about the game? You know, the board was a little big, and I don't really care for this dice tower icon on there. I'm not gonna lie to you about that. But I don't know why they do that. Yeah, the game is a lot of fun. The production is very good. It's a dice chucker, so that's probably why I thought I wouldn't like it. It's kind of a Ameritrashy Euro hybrid. I think if there's a game that describes that type of merging, I think this Champions of Midgard does a good job with that, because you are placing work. It has Euro mechanisms in it, but you're going to roll dice that are, all the dice are 50-50. So you got 3 sides of the dice with something on them, 3 sides that are blank, and so to roll those successes, of course, you want to roll the side with an icon. But here's the thing, a lot of times if you're a bad dice roller, and I'm a notoriously bad dice roller, so but in this game I just don't take any chances. So you can choose how many dice you're going to roll when you're going to be battling some of the monsters. So I always err on the side of caution, and I use more dice than I think I'll need. And sometimes that means I have to wait longer than I would like to battle that monster, to make that move. And but for me, it pays off. And hey, I won the game in our first play. But you can push your luck if you think you can. You're a good enough dice roller that you're going to try to attack a monster and get 3 successes with 2 dice. You know, give it a shot. That's what the game's all about. But you can hurt yourself dramatically if you don't get the successes you want with the minimum amount of dice. So it's a push your luck element to it, and it's very pretty. Everything about it is pretty. I was surprised that we liked it so much. And that's Champions of Midgard. It's a great game to get for my birthday. I can't wait to play it again. We've played it twice already. And yeah, Champions of Midgard. It has a couple of expansions, but here's the deal. I don't think it needs the expansions. It played wonderfully with 2. I haven't done it with more players, obviously, because I just got it to the table today. But yeah, I don't think it. I think the game is complete and a good game in the box. And you don't have to go out and buy any more content for it. There are some expansions for it that people love, and hey, that's great. But I'm just not much of a believer in expansions. You know, for a board game production company, you know, if you're going to put out a board game with the intention of trying to get people to buy expansions, I don't really agree with that. And I like board game companies when they make a great game in the box, so that when the people buy it, they take it home and they're in love with it immediately. And then if they want to do some kind of expansion content later, that's fine. But I always expect to have a great game in the base game box. And yeah, Champions of Midgard does that. So hey, that's my birthday haul. Wow, I didn't realize it was so amazing. Those were some very fun games. I'm going to keep them all and play them over and over and over, which is what we do. And I hope everybody out there had a great Thanksgiving. Christmas is just a couple weeks away. Have a very Merry Christmas. We're trying to finish a video gift to all of you from the Bones Collector. It's going to be called, should I say it? Yeah. It's, okay, so spoiler alert, this will be called The Hall of Game. And it's my favorite board game designs of all time, top 20. And look for that coming out as soon as we can get it together and get it done. And it'll be done in a different fashion than you're used to seeing. So that'll be exciting too. And I can't wait to get that to you. But hey, thanks for watching the Old Bones Collector. And make sure you like and subscribe. And I love every one of you. We're up to 158 subscribers. Oh my gosh, I didn't know that I had that many family out there. But I love all of you. Have fun board gaming, because guess what? It's the best hobby on the planet. Bye-bye.